Hey everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to create a silhouette grid of dresses, a fabric swatch, and put it directly onto a model. Let me show you what that final result looks like. So let's walk through. So the first thing that we want to do is we actually want to create a grid of silhouettes just like this. You can use your own, but this is also something that you can do in Weavy that will help you leverage LLMs and Nano Banana Pro to create this kind of structure. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to build this grid. So in order to do that, it's pretty simple. The one great thing about this is that once you build your framework, you never have to build it again. It's already completed. You can modify it, you can change it, but it lives here until you delete it. So the first thing that we want to do is we actually want to take all different parameters of what we actually want to accomplish, and then use the prompt concatenator to take all of these different prompts and pull them together. So the beauty of this is that we can actually break down very granularly, like what this actually looks like as one single prompt, but in sections. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to identify what we're actually doing here. So the task. So you actually bring in a prompt window, just like this, from the side, the left side tab, and then you go in and you can actually rename what you want this actual prompt to be. So in this case, I actually labeled this task. And then I actually defined, okay, what's the actual function here? We want to generate a single image containing multiple women's dress silhouettes displayed all together. Then we go in and we talk about core instructions. We want to show unique dress silhouette per letter, labeled A through Z. Labels must be letters only, and then giving the proper A, B, C, D order. There's no words, no names, no captions, no typography, just letters. Then we go into what this actual visual aesthetic needs to look like. So this is like, okay, we want it to be, fashion line drawings, no fill, no shading, no gradients. The background layout, gray. It can be any color you really want, but in here I thought dark gray would be a really nice color to make sure everything is clean and very differentiated from the dresses. That'll be white. Then we go into silhouette guidance. So this is like really going into like sort of details in regards to what do we want this dress? What do we want these dresses to look like? We want them straight versus flared versus fitted. This is short. We want like all different variables. So we really get a nice breadth of all different silhouettes. Then the purpose of this is not only educational, but it's diagrammatic. You can actually now have this sort of design reference library at your fingertips, and it's clean, modern, neutral. Then we go into what actually regarding negative prompts. So when we talk about that, we're talking about there's no realism, no color, no lighting effects. We just want it to be strictly a vector look. So now we bring in over onto the side, you can actually drag in your prompt concatenator, and now you can click all these different tabs and now add in all these different nodes and connectivity. So now you bring all of these together, and now you have all of these different frameworks built into one prompt, which I love because now everything here gives me the framework, gives me the full collective prompt together, and now it's just, there's no question about if I missed anything. Everything is very, very clear. Then I brought in a Nano Banana window, same way, drag it from the side, bring it in. Now you connect your prompt concatenator to your prompt using your node, and these were the results as we showed you before. So very clear. So it took all of that framework and just visualized it exactly how I was hoping it to look. The second part of this workflow is really the same. The only difference now is we pick a fabric and we decide where do we want this fabric to live? What do we want it to look like? What is the style of shot we're looking for? In this case, I'm looking for strictly just like a PDP editorial shot, nothing too dramatic. So here I'm going to connect this fabric swatch to an image describe. And what that means is that if you go over onto the left again and you type in image, it actually brings up a window called image describer. And so here what we would do is we would do exactly what I did underneath here. So we connect your fabric to your image describer and we run it. And what it does is it actually works like an LLM. So it's actually going to give me a nice overview of what this is. And so it gave me a really great description. So now I'm actually going to use that as a part of my framework to build my next step. So in the next step, we are building the models. So we're building the silhouette with the fabric to the on model piece. So this is the result. And so in order to do that, we build the same way. The role and intent. You're a professional fashion technical designer and 3D garment visualization artist. Your task is to apply a provided fabric swatch accurately onto selected garment silhouettes. So really, that's really what this whole purpose and task is about. But then what's really cool here is because we've already identified all of these different silhouettes by a letter, now we can actually create this sort of silhouette selection. So you can use only the garment silhouette labeled. So you have C, R, W, K, P that I picked specifically that I want to take this leather swatch and put it onto only those specific grid silhouettes, which I think is really great because now we're defining the diagram and then we're taking all those different pieces and connecting them here. The other part is, you want to apply the fabric swatch as a primary garment material. So you want the LLMs to understand this is exactly what we're doing. And then the silhouette selection, you want it to maintain the shape, the correct garment seams, the drape, the realism, and then the model type. So that's when this actually gets into all the different parameters of the model build. Like, what does she look like? What's her age? What's her ethnicity, her hair, body type, fit? How should the dress actually fit her when it actually is applied? And then the other piece of this is the editorial parameter. So you have your cameras, your lighting, and you can even get into accessory placement. So here I added black loafers. I also added socks, these ankle white with lettuce edge style look. So I thought that this would just be like a really nice tie-in, brings it all together, and it gives you more control behind what the actual final image will look like. You use a prompt concatenator again, and here is your result. And so at the end of the day, you can do this with any other texture, and I can even show you really quickly. I did a lace, and it looks like this. And I also put together a boucle for almost the Chanel moment. So as you can see, possibilities are really, really amazing in terms of being able to ideate, test, play, but it's all built on a framework. Most importantly, AI should be fun, so enjoy.